Hello, my name's Ed. Okay, so we're going to do another random comics walkthrough. This one I think is another one that will be interesting to kind of put a lot of larger context to. So this is part of the mid-70s Steve Englehart run of Captain America, and this is part of the whole Nomad story arc where Steve Rogers gave up the mantle of Captain America to become another character called, like I said, Nomad. And then, of course, he eventually goes back to being Captain America. But this is issue number 182 from 1975. And just to, like I said, look in a broader context of when this comic book came out. So it's the mid 70s, or a big time for like change and malaise, and crime rates are going up. Free love gave way to like swingers and casual sexuality. Women's roles in public were changing as more women entered the workplace. Inflation was on the rise. The Vietnam War was coming to an end. The general public kind of lost uh, faith in that effort, and generally, people generally kind of lost faith in their official institutions. So the two, I'd say, the big main news stories that were going on at this time were the Watergate scandals. So the Watergate scandal went roughly from like 1971 or 1972 to about 1974. Basically, Richard Nixon's men, the plumbers, and the committee to re-elect the president, led by G. Gordon Liddy, broke the law to spy on the DNC in an effort to re-elect the president. In an effort to kind of distance himself from the incident, Nixon fired much of his staff in 1973. However, tapes of Nixon were made public that show the president was complicit. Nixon resigned because he was sure he was going to be impeached and then forced out of office. He was immediately pardoned by his successor, Gerald Ford. Richard Nixon, for several years after that, kind of became known as the president who started his term as the law and order president, and then he kind of became this symbol of government corruption. Of course, there's a lot more to that story, but for the sake of this video, we're gonna go with that. And then the other big thing is Patty Hearst and the Sinhalese Liberation Army. So the Sinhalese Liberation Army were kind of this left-wing radical group, if you want to call them domestic terrorists. That probably fits. But Patty Hearst was actually the heiress to Randall Hearst, who was the newspaper guy that, incidentally was the loose inspiration for Citizen Kane. But anyway, they kidnapped Patty Hearst, and in some effort to force the authorities to release some of their jailed comrades. And when that didn't work, they tried to get the Hearst family to feed people in the San Francisco area. And I believe the Hearst family did donate like $2 million to dollars to feed the poor, but the SLA still didn't release Patty Hearst, and instead Patty Hearst ended up joining the SLA and helping them like rob banks in order to fund their revolution. The police eventually captured the SLA, and the Patty Hearst was convicted, and she was later pardoned by President Jimmy Carter. So again, this is written by Steve Englehart. Steve Englehart actually started out his comics career as one of Neil Adams' assistants in Neil Adams' Krusty Bunkers studio. There was kind of this art studio where they would do like freelance jobs and things like that in the early 70s. He got work as proofreader at Marvel and eventually became a writer for the company. So I think he started with the Beast solo series in Amazing Heroes, or not Amazing Heroes, in Amazing Adventures, and he quickly worked his way up to like writing Captain America and the Avengers. And the art here is by Frank Robbins. Frank Robbins was a comic strip veteran. Uh, from back in the day. I think his most famous comic strips were Johnny Hazard and Scorchy Smith, and he contributed to a multitude of titles for Marvel and DC, from Batman to Superboy to Ghost Rider. And at Marvel, he's probably best known for doing this run of Captain America and in The Invaders around this time. So the plot of this particular issue, well, to go back, just to go back a little bit. Like I said, this is part of that infamous Steve Englehart run. So the previous arc is basically the first Secret Empire arc, and that's the one where at the end of that story, Captain America chases the head of the Secret Empire through some secret tunnels. He finds out at the White House. He rips off the mask of the leader and he says, "You." And the implication at that time was that It was Nixon. It's not really there in the art or in any of the dialogue or any of the script. There's nothing in there that says it's Nixon, but just the background of what was going on at the times. That was the implication. So the next big arc, Steve Rogers decides he can't remain as Captain America because of all the government corruption. He becomes this character here. Okay, so let's put it this way. Her. So this particular issue is part of a longer arc. Like I said, Steve Rogers becomes disillusioned with the corruption in American government and quits Captain America title, become nomad and man without a country. However, the overall story is about how Cap regains his resolve and reassumes the mantle. Here he takes down the Serpent Squad, and the Serpent Squad is kind of a loose analogy of the Simeonese Liberation Army, okay? And meanwhile, also, a young man tries to take on the Cap guys under a watchful eye of Falcon. Steve tries to do the right thing while forces on both sides, that is, the people he's trying to defend and help and protect, as well as his enemies, kind of doubt him and underestimate him. The story here is a fight. It's tight, it's well written with professional art by Robbins. And as a kid, Robbins' art seemed kind of odd to me. But looking at his comic strip and war art, it's clear that he was trained in that kind of Milt Caniff style or Alex Raymond. I'll say that Milt Caniff style of comic strip art. But when he came to Marvel, he's trying to do kind of Jack Kirby style superhero art, which might not have been an easy fit for him. So in the previous issue, like I said, the Serpent Squad kidnap a business executive from Roxxon Oil. They try to brainwash him with his magical crown or whatever, and and blah 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 blah. Hijinks ensue, but it's a clear inspiration for the whole Patty Hearst thing going on. So anyway, let's kind of just look into it. In this issue here, basically, Steve kind of takes down the squad, and it's really a recreation of what happened in real life with the cops when they came and raided the SLA safe house or whatever. So here, you got Steve doing his thing as Nomad. It's pretty interesting too. So it's a mid-70s, so a lot of superheroes and villains and people were running around with this bare-chested look. So that's kind of funny. Okay, all right. So here he goes. Here's Steve saying, hey, I can go in there and get the bad guys. The cops think he's just some nut. They don't realize he's a former Captain America. Inside the house, here's Viper. This is the former Madam Hydra. This character named Cobra. Like I said, they're under siege. Cobra's having a fit. He's afraid. He thinks they're all going to die. Viper's telling him to kind of man up. Origin of Marvel Comics. Calendar for 1975. All right. Like I said, the cops go charge the squad. Viper and Cobra gun them down. So he's like, why? Why didn't they let me do it? Here's Sharon Carter. Sharon Carter makes Google eyes at this kind of hippie looking guy. Check me out. So yeah, Steve breaks his handcuffs. He's kind of lamenting the fact that these cops didn't listen to him. They would have listened to him if he had his Captain America suit on, though. Steve goes in. Viper kind of backhands Cobra as he's just kind of having like a nervous breakdown there. See, we get some fight stuff going here. See, look at these kind of like Marvel superhero, Jack Kirby, John Buscema, Gil Kane type fighting. And it just looks kind of weird and awkward in a way. It's not bad art, but you know, it's obvious it's not an easy fit for Frank Robbins here. And here, Viper is just declaring, "Ha, our lives, justice, you fool. None of this means anything compared to my cause. The serpent squad shall never die." And here the authorities turn the hose on everybody. House comes down. Steve gets out. He brings Cobra with him, and the crown is lost into the sewers. Hey, letters page. And Marvel value stamp. Steve Ditko's Ancient One. Alrighty. Some more toys. Hey, never finished high school? Okay, so here's this kid, Roscoe, who decided he's going to take on the mantle or whatever. And Falcon's like, well, if you insist on doing this, I'll like kind of watch over you and kind of train over you. This is kind of funny. This is some holdover from a last story. This is Peggy Carter and then Gabriel Jones from the Howling Commandos. And there was kind of this whole subplot in the last Red Skull story that that they appeared in, where they were kind of slowly falling in love, which was pretty funny. Okay, I think I'm gonna be running out of stuff pretty soon here. Okay, so no, decline. Somebody trying to call me. No. Okay, so then that's pretty much it. They kind of stopped some bank robbers. Treasury editions. They see that the bank robbers were bringing money in to the vault because this was all a ruse to catch Captain America and Falcon. And the ruse is engineered by the Red Skull. Okay, then that's it. I got to thank everybody for watching. I do appreciate it. You guys have a good day.